All right, guys, when you saw us last, we had finished Ophir Pass. On this episode, we're going to tackle the Alpine Loop and the Engineer Pass. Stay tuned.
We started our journey towards the Alpine Loop by way of Highway 550 through Silverton. Silverton is only 1 square mile in size, but boasts a brewery, a couple of restaurants, coffee shops, and even a small hotel. Unlike many of the well-manicured mining towns that surround it, Silverton still maintains its wild energy. We were pretty anxious to get on the trail by this point, so we didn't make time to stop in Silverton. But if you're in the area, definitely do. The Alpine Loop consists of old mining roads established in the late 1800s and is approximately 65 miles long and connects the towns of Silverton to Lake City and Lake City to Ouray. It's made up of several of the most scenic passes in the San Juan Mountains, Cinnamon Pass and Engineer Pass. While most of the Alpine Loop requires high-clearance 4x4 vehicles, you will definitely want to make plans to visit in the months of June through September, as snowfall is likely due to the higher elevations, making the loop much more treacherous to follow.
When me and Kim first got together, guys, this was one of our goals. We wanted a Volkswagen van to travel the world in. Had no idea that it would ever be a Jeep, but that little four-wheel drive VW, I think that would still be pretty awesome. I hope you guys can see that big waterfall back there, because it is gorgeous. All right, guys, so Kim just jumped out to pee. And there is a Ranger coming right there. So let's see if she can get done and get back in the car. Oh, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. He is now right here. So we gotta try to pull out in front of him because he's going super slow. So let's see if she can pull out. Can we beat the Ranger? Look at that water, guys. I would drink that without question. That's probably not smart. Don't follow that advice.
As we made our way along the Alpine Loop, we took the trail towards Cinnamon Pass. Now, if you'll take a moment, you may notice some structures off to the left here, and that is the small ghost town of Anamias Forks. I'm not sure how I failed to make this a point of interest worth stopping for, but have since realized it was a definite trail guide fail, as it has 9 buildings that still stand today, including an old jail. Cinnamon Pass is approximately 19 miles and is rated as moderate. The terrain is mostly easy, but there are some steep, rocky sections that can be a bit challenging. We also came across several shelf roads that are fairly narrow, which was to be expected in Colorado. This can make passing oncoming vehicles just a little bit difficult.
Look at that road, guys. Is this real life?
Cinnamon Pass took us to an elevation of about 12,640 feet. Now, as we dip over the peak of Cinnamon Pass, we're now heading towards Lake City. Now I'm just going to take a few minutes to let you take in more of this gorgeous scenery that we experienced on Cinnamon Pass.
Look at them little baby ducks doing cute little baby duck stuff. Lake water is so green. I mean, it looks fake. Like that water you see at the putt-putt places at the beach. But it's real, guys. It's real.
As we came off of Cinnamon Pass, the Alpine Loop took us into the old mining town of Lake City. Now don't be fooled, this city is actually more of a very sleepy town, boasting a whopping population of 382. It has now become one of Colorado's largest historic districts with over 75 buildings dating back to the 1800s. We stopped at Packers for lunch before heading to Engineer Pass to find camp for the evening. Engineer Pass is the more rugged and difficult road on the Alpine Loop. There are several miles of this pass that are rocky, steep, and narrow and will require high clearance 4x4 vehicles. Engineer Pass is on the Jeep Badge of Honor program and is rated at a 5 to 6 on the Jeep Badge of Honor app.
Found our new house, guys. We're gonna close on it next week. Jesus.
No, we did not buy that house, but how amazing would it be to own property in the San Juans? And finally, an aspen forest. We've been on the search for this for several days. In our 16 days of travel, this was about as much rain as we've seen. I know, it's not very impressive, but you know what is? This. We ran across a family of deer as we were trying to find camp, and we could not resist the opportunity to just stop and observe.
Found camp for the night, mainly because it's starting to drizzle a little bit, and so we didn't want to get too far up on Engineer Pass. Here we are. It's definitely not a bad spot, right by the creek. Typically, this is definitely what we're looking for. The only downside is it's a little close to the road, but not a bad place to call home for the night at all.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see from up here.
Unlike Cinnamon Pass, there are many dispersed campsites along Engineer Pass. This was a really great roadside camp beside Henson Creek.
It's so beautiful, you and me, we meant to be.
All right, guys, so for supper tonight, we're kind of on a hill, but Daryl, in his infinite wisdom, thought to send us with a stick when he built this, oh God, when he built this platform, you want a flatter rock?
That's good. I got it.
All right, what's for dinner tonight, love?
Carne asada.
Carne
Tacos.
asada. If you're looking at that shirt, thanks Adventure Us. Well, now they're not looking at the shirt, babe. Now they're.
It is the shirt.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Adventure Us, check him out on YouTube. He's a friend of ours. And I've got to say, so far, I know a lot of people talk about the Coleman stoves not working well at high elevations. This one's went like a champ, right?
Yeah.
Let's just hope we're not interrupted by that. It's warmed.
So your cheese will melt.
Thanks for caring about my cheese, babe.
That's what I'm here for. To melt your cheese.
You do so much more. Good morning, guys. We had a phenomenal night's sleep. This was a great camp. The sound of the water all night was amazing. You'll notice we have the awning out. That rain I told you about earlier, we didn't miss it. It came for us. But as you can see, everything is still relatively dry, so I don't think we're worried about the conditions on those shelf roads. I think they're gonna be fine. And so today we're gonna tackle the rest of Engineer Pass. Anything else?
Engineer Pass, and then we'll head into Ouray, check out that little town, and then hit Imogene Pass.
All right, that's a big day.
Yeah.
All right, guys, stay tuned.
As we left camp, we came upon another old mining town, Capital City. Now, what we found most interesting is the founder of this now ghost town, George Lee, originally named it Galena City. However, he dreamed of becoming the state's governor and changed the name to Capital City. At the town's peak, population was around 800, and it had hotels, restaurants, post office, schoolhouse, and even a sawmill. These are the two remaining buildings on the property, the old post office and Lee's smelter stack. Now, I googled smelter stack and I could not seem to find any information on exactly what that is. So, if you know what a smelter stack is, tell us in the comments.
And if you look in the center of the bridge, as she drives up, there is a groundhog running his fat ass across their bridge.
Y'all, I want to show you this property that is for sale on Engineer Pass. to walk up and get a closer look of it, but could you imagine that little tent out here in the middle of nowhere on the side of a mountain, and that being your view? So I guess that would be your driveway. Almost fell. And I guess you would just hike over the water into the property. Yeah, that's just insane to me. So there it is. If you're interested in owning that piece of property, all those people. The peak of Engineer Pass took us to an elevation of 12,800 feet, and to be quite honest, the views were just absolutely unmatched. Y'all, this is phenomenal. Absolutely gorgeous.
How's it going, guys? Hey, be safe. It's not a bad view out the window, guys. Not a bad view at all.
As soon as we passed the peak of Engineer Pass, we found ourselves at Odom Point. And just when we thought the view could not get any better, we were proven wrong.
You got a drop. Perfect.
Thank you. Our next stop on the pass took us to Mineral Point. Now, Mineral Point is just like many of the other old ghost towns that are on the pass, and was, of course, an old mining town. I could not find a whole lot of information on this town for whatever reason. Here you are going to see the remnants of the San Juan Chief Mill and House. You know, maybe I spend too much time in some of these old homes or structures, but I'm always so curious about the lives that lived here. I know most of them had hard lives compared to the luxuries we have today, but were they happy? Did they get to experience real happiness in their lifetime? Or was it sad and miserable? Would it be a life that we find or consider traumatizing today? I'm intrigued by their life of simplicity and often wonder if I could find appreciation in those ways. We believe in those moments that it could be possible. Of course, I say all this while I have a tight grip on my iPhone, recording this footage, and then remounting it to my dash for directions to our next destination. Food for thought. Engineer Pass has provided us with the opportunity to see old mines, ghost towns, waterfalls, wildflowers, and epic scenery. And up until this point, it had been a fairly easy trail to travel. But the latter part of the Engineer Pass is where it starts to get a little bit challenging.
Made that look easy. Still concentrating on things. That was a little faster than she probably should have went. Jesus. So you'll just be able to ride your driver tire right here on the edge. Nice, baby.
I want you guys to look at this, at these gorgeous aspens. And we've seen this all along the trail. People just constantly carving into the trees. If you're doing this, you're an asshole. I mean, a true asshole.
More passenger and then back up. You're good. You're fine. There's nothing back here. Guys, that's a hell of a switchback. Hell of a switchback. So this has definitely been the most technical portion of the pass. You're fine. Keep going. Fancy meeting you here. Guys, I've opted not to get back in the Jeep until I see what's around some of these curves. Nice. Good line. Now, what's she gonna do here, guys? Looks like she's gonna ride her passenger tire up on this wall and straddle that big hole. Driver. Nice. Very well done. She's really starting to pick a lot of her own lines, and it's awesome. I'm bragging on you, so don't fuck up. Ooh, this looks like a big gully up there. You want help on this one, or you got it? She's got it. If we can just get her to slow down a little bit, that'd be good. That's a big drop. You got a big drop coming, okay? Good. Got a drop. Even the mud puddles are crystal clear. Nice. Which way are you going? This way or this way? You're fine. You're gonna climb. Keep going. You're good.
So this brings us to the end of the Alpine Loop and Engineer Pass. We really wish we had planned for 2 days on Engineer Pass, as there was so much to take in and plenty of beautiful campsites to enjoy. We hope you all enjoyed this video of the Alpine Loop. Stay tuned to the next video in our Headed West series, where we visit Ouray and take on Imogene Pass. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave us a comment about your thoughts of our adventure, and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, see you soon.
Higher and higher, out of sight. The whisper inside your heart tells you let go. Time to leave the past. You did what you knew.